Hello and good morning. Gary Champion, Psychic Medium once again. Um, I don't know why I started noticing something and I thought I'd make a video about it. It's not for everybody, but I've noticed that as I talk to people and meet people and say things that many of them have goals. They've set a goal. I want to do this, I want to do that. When I was young, I did too. I'm going to have a doctorate by the age of 30. What was that a dumb one? But they don't seem to be accomplishing their goals. They have goals, which is, and it's okay if you wander aimlessly across the land like Cain, getting into adventures, kung fu. It's okay if you want to do that. But if you have a goal, if you have a thing you can see that you can understand that you would like to do, why are you not doing it? That's the question usually I ask. And then they start off with, well, my husband left me. I've got 3 kids, blah, blah, blah. And I always say, what are those? And they don't get it. So those are excuses for not accomplishing your goals. Many a woman's been single with 3 kids and conquered the world. Something inside of these people, and it's possible that this hides within everybody at some particular time, that we all have a goal and we look at it and we don't accomplish it for one reason or another. So we're all guilty of failing by either not trying or overestimating how much it's going to take to do that. Some miscalculation, but to just make up uh, silly excuses to keep yourself from being successful. And that's a whole nother thing, because there's a whole group of people out there that don't want to be successful. They don't care. They want to live their little lives, watching TV, playing the games, doing. They don't really have a life, and nor do they intend to have one, unless life forces it on them. But perhaps it's because we don't see ourselves as successful that we botch it or trip it up or somehow don't accomplish it. Perhaps you had parents that said you were a dummy. That happens. That's a bad one. But you can't let other people's opinions of you take over your life. Many people do. They listen to other people rather than what's in here. What's in here is the only thing that's important. How you feel about yourself is the only thing of any importance at all. How other people see you is not relevant. You have a goal, you're going to do it. You set it up, you begin to work toward it, and at some point you accomplish it. That's how it's done. So somebody, well, I moved here. I had a job, I was making good money, had everything, and heard one day I should be here. I haven't lived here for a long time in Texas. Born here, and I didn't hesitate. I packed a bag and paid my bills off and came down, rented a place, and went to work. That's how it's done. If you have, it seems interesting to me that you can see the goal. I mean, you can see it. You can talk about it. You can visualize it. Maybe this one over here looks like that one over there. You've seen it. You're living it, and yet to not accomplish it seems like the ultimate waste of time and waste of spirit for sure. Now, you see the goal, you like the goal, it's something you want to do in your life, and you head off toward it, and it turns out you're not smart enough. Okay, well, that's a failure. Instead of being a doctor, you'll be a nurse. Same field, different jobs, but if you want to be in the medical community, there's probably a place for you. Become a technician, you become a phlebotomist, you become a blah, blah, blah. Lots of jobs in the medical field. People who just file medical data, people who book appointments. Lots of jobs in the medical field. Why didn't you get one? Sometimes you set the goal. I'm hearing this. Of course, I'm not. This isn't coming out of me. But someone's saying sometimes you set the goal impossibly high. That you have an overabundance of ego that allows you to do that. And I'm going to recreate the Taj Mahal right down there. Yeah, that's it goes into speculation category, doesn't it? But there are some goals that really you can't accomplish. I'm not going to fly jets. I've said that many times before. I'm afraid of heights and my eyesight's not all that good, and I'm old. Unless you're somebody really good at my age, they don't let you fly jets. You can look at them. You can touch them. You can take a tour. Things cost $3 billion. You're not going to let some old guy like me fly. It's a reasonable goal that at some point I might accomplish. It's also fictional. I just made it up. I've used it over and over again, but it's an example of maybe an unrealistic goal. And at some point you say, I'm not going to make that one. So you back up and you hit something similar. You do the sideways shuffle. You find something else you can do that's similar that would make you happy, that you'd be good at. Why we fail so often is a variety of reasons. We lack faith in ourselves is one of the big ones. We just don't have any faith in ourselves anymore, or never did. And a lot of it has to do with the environment growing up, socialization. The people around you are all failures, so you're bound to be a failure. You break out of that group, you find out you're not such a failure. It's them that have been holding you back instead of you holding you back, which is really you holding you back by being in this group. They like it there. And anyway, people will name off half a dozen reasons why they can't pursue something. And really, it's them holding themselves back. They've convinced themselves they can't do it for monetary reasons or, like me, age. If I really wanted to fly jets, which I don't, I'd hire a jet instructor, I'd find a jet, and I'd take lessons on it until I learned how to fly a jet. I'd take a while. Anyway, and the worst ones are the people that blame other people for why they haven't accomplished their life goal. You know, Billy did this, so I couldn't do that. So that ruined my life. It's really just failure by design. You saw this little thing here. Yeah, he did something. You'd use that as an excuse for why you didn't accomplish your goal. You know, people in America are always blaming somebody for whatever it is. Doesn't matter what it is. Not enough Reese's Pieces in the bag. It's somebody's fault. They want to punish somebody for it, which is exactly the wrong attitude. But we tend to blame other people for our failures when it's just you. You didn't try hard enough. You didn't want it bad enough. If you had to repeat classes, you didn't do that. You listened to what other people said, which is really the dumbest one, because how do they know what you can do and not do? They're not the only person who can really correctly assess you is you. Do you have what it takes to do that? It's kind of every time you say no, you drive another nail into your coffin. How much time do you think you've got? It's a short stay. People say it's a long stay. People say it's a short stay. I tend to think it's a short stay. That seems long, but isn't. Uh, but any excuse will do when you don't want to be successful. Living in the wrong part of the country. I never had the finances. Um, my mama and daddy died when I was 12. Uh, there's always an excuse. You can use race or sex or whatever. But people are always using something to hold themselves back. When no one else is holding them back, they're doing it themselves. Anyway, that's what I was thinking about this morning. It came to me that perhaps we're not failing. We're failing to put forth the effort to not fail. That's all we're doing. Failure takes a terrible toll on you. One failure, okay, it's no big deal. I'll move on. I'll do this. I'll do that. Then you make another failure, which is very similar to the first failure. And then the third failure, you just give up and go home. When really there was no need for any of that had you put forth a necessary effort to get it done in the first place. Some people are ambitious and some are not. Some have goals they want to accomplish, others don't. And that's okay. I just don't want to hear you crying and whining about how somebody kept you from being successful when the only thing is you. You know, think about it a little bit. If you have goals, aspirations, see if there's not some way that you can't plan out a way to get to that far shore. You can see it over there. You can see the light. You can see the building. How do you get from here to there? Start figuring out the sequence of events necessary to get you there. Maybe you're holding yourself back. No fear, no regret, no anger. Thanks for watching.